Hello, this is Magek. Welcome back to the Xuan character reviews. We keep on with the original 5, and the final fighter in this character group is Shanwoo. And I got to say he is my personal favorite and one of my favorite characters of the game in every aspect. His design is particularly outstanding in my opinion. I like the fact that unlike Kaoru, Jan and others, they didn't follow any template for his design, making him look rather original. Shanwoo has a very interesting combination of influences that work in unexpected ways. He is a little realistic, a little urban, a little stylish and a little cartoonish too. First we have his physique. He is a gruff, strong man that according to the story comes from a racial minority. His hair arranged in dreadlocks and his dark skin tone represent very well this. Also he sports some tattoos and tribal designs in his arms and even in his shirt. He is a former immigrant that competes in underground boxing and runs a sweat factory for poor children. And his look is quite fitting. He wears a cotton white tank top that goes along just right with his context. Combined with the gloves, it gives you the idea of a sort of a worker. I could actually picture him in any situation implied by his background. Either arriving to the fights wearing that outfit at some moment or going into the factory to supervise what his little brothers are doing. But he also has a big and rather weird golden watch on his wrist, what does not break the tone or anything, as he is said to have gradually gotten richer as he advanced in the boxing circuit. So everything perfect with this and actually looks very cool and unique. He has a scar on his face too and a golden earring, and well, that completes his looks of a guy that rose from the slums and sports some fashion of not very good taste. Now, the only part that probably could represent a problem will be the lower part of the body. His pants have a pretty flamboyant design that doesn't seem to relate too much with his backstory. If they were from a professional boxer or a wrestler maybe, I'd find them more fitting, but in Shanwoo's, some people could say it doesn't entirely fit with his persona. However, this is a fighting game, and just like we have no problem believing Hiyori Yagami tied his legs together with a rope, we could believe too Shanwoo's pants could be part of a common fashion of that world. So although it's the only part that prevents Shanwoo from being a completely realistic design, in the end it's part of what makes the design special, and of course, it's the stylish part of his aesthetics, in strict consonance with the game itself. Wherever Shanwoo's symbol is a skull, probably taken from some rights from his tribe, and he adds one to his belt. That detail is pretty iconic on this character. Well, I guess something I'll be repeating is that Jade Studio seems to have a problem with loose belts and bands around the characters' hips. It seems when they run out of ideas, they add an extra belt to the pants, or a chain, or a bunch of bands. It is an actual vice, and it doesn't only happen to Jade Studios but to other designers too. In this case, however, it just doesn't break the visuals, and actually complete them. Nitpicks aside, the pants are very effective and just improve a little the design for its uniqueness. The character's voice is, just like the sprite and the design, a true powerhouse, with inspiring manliness,
我说了，无论谁来都必死无疑。
strength, energy, and self-confidence. Outside of the accessories, I'd like to go deeper with this breakdown of Shanwoo's design. What I like about him is that he is very unique and a 100% Tencent design. What I want to say is that this character with this design couldn't have come from Capcom or SNK. You see, he has some elements Capcom likes to use, including weird and stylish fashion designs, unique hairstyle and even cartoonish disproportion on his physique. You see, for example, his fists are gigantic. But he also has a youthful, charisma-based and more modern, urban, down to the ground, realistic if you want to say, background and personality, like the ones of the SNK characters. He wouldn't fit in any of those series. So he is actually 100% Jade Studio, and he is a good example of the style these designers bring to Xuan. Now, this will be everything about Shanwoo's audiovisual design, but I'd like to add something about his personality. This character is a dude from a tribe that worked hard to survive and later started helping poor kids too. In the most loved things section of his biography, it says, his little brothers. That helps me to like this character even better as he is generous and caring. And then the CRD agents closed down his factory and he wants revenge. He allies himself with the Funk family, including Jan and Kaoru, with the promise of some money if he does well in the tournament. But he is also motivated for revenge, and not personal revenge, but making justice by helping those kids. And I know what you people are thinking, this guy is exploiting kids, blah blah blah. Well, let me tell you, there are cultural and economic differences between Western countries and Eastern countries. China is overpopulated and the work is scarce in big cities for poor people, like street kids that have no one to care about them. Shanwoo at least provides these boys with a way of subsistence, and he is not expected to be cruel, inhumane or exploiting. Actually, he is loving and generous. And yeah, being myself a person living in a third world country, I guess I can relate much easier to this than anyone from developed countries, and understand better Shanwoo's motivations. So, in a genre that's generally plagued with fighters only looking for personal strength or other egoistical goals, it's great to see someone whose primary motivation to fight is a charity cause, and he is so damn hardy about it. In fact, I can think of any other fighting game character involved to this extent in charity work. Whatever, none of this goes in detriment of his fighter aspect at all, as he has all the looks, the physique, the background, the moves, and the charisma of a believable badass underground boxer. Did I mention he has a sort of divine totem that increases his strength when he needs it? This guy is very righteous, he is actually chosen by God itself to bring good to earth. He fights with his heart for love and peace, and that's the reason why I love this fighter so much. Shangu's fighting style is a mix between boxing and wrestling. His gameplay combines a couple elements from SNK characters Clark and Tisok, plus a bunch of Terry Bogard normals here and there. But the way his attacks work doesn't resemble any of them, so he managed to create a completely personal game style. I especially love how his common moves, unlike any other character I've ever known, are performed by tapping twice a basic attack button, instead of hitting a direction plus a button. This makes him very accessible, fits so much to his game style, and makes him overall fun and very addictive to use. The animations and attack poses are totally badass, so much vigor and intensity in every one of his moves. And while I agree his gameplay is sort of lacking because the character has been completely neglected for much time, it's still very fun to play, accessible and potentially very destructive actually. To this point, I don't think I need to say I'm really looking forward to his new incarnation. So in the end, big kudos to XDZW for bringing Shanwoo along. My absolute favorite of the world roster, Shanwoo is a completely round character in every aspect. Visual design, background, credibility as a fighter, uniqueness, gameplay, at least in concept, motivations and charisma. Simply the best out there, so I wanted to give you this love letter dedicated to him. And well, this has been the original 5 cycle. See you in the next video that will launch the second phase of my character reviews, the second core. Thanks a ton for watching and see you later.